Eminem album tracks ranked. So recently, Eminem released his second greatest hits album, Curtain Call 2, featuring tracks from Relapse all the way to Music to be Murdered by, Side B. And many of you know I am not the biggest fan when it comes to music, except when Eminem's involved. When he releases an album, which is usually by surprise now, I am downloading it the second I hear about it, and then I am purchasing the physical copy of the album once it becomes available on Amazon. So I was quite happy about this, and it got me to revisit all Eminem's albums. Not just the ones that are featured on Curtain Call 2, but all of his major studio releases. And I wanted to come up with my favorite Eminem songs ranked. I can't make up my mind if I ranked every Eminem song. That's just too much. But what I could do, and I'm going to do, and I have done, is rank each album tracks or song. So I started with The Eminem Show. I did Relapse. I did Encore. I did Revival. I did Music to be Murdered by, Side B. And this week, I'm going to do one of Eminem's most underrated albums, and that would be the Marshall Mathers LP 2. Just ranking all the tracks that are on the album. Now, I'm not including skits, so in this album, there's actually only one skit. So all 20 tracks, if you include the bonus tracks that are on this deluxe version of this album. Now, I'll let you guys know ahead of time, we are most likely going to disagree. This is my personal opinion of these tracks that are on this album. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. It's just too time consuming, and this would be like a 40-minute video if I did that. I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes if I can. I do have a tendency to ramble at times, so that I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you really want explanation, just make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave your ranking in the comments section. Now, if you don't want to do all 20 tracks in this album, I understand. If you want to do like your top 3 or top 5, that would be great. Smash the like button if you're a fan of Eminem, especially because it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Let me know which Eminem album that I should rank next. There's not many to choose from. Otherwise, I'll just pick a random one. I got this idea from Ken Sledge of Sledgehammer Horror. So if you're into horror, make sure you check out his channel. He lives in Michigan. So I just asked him, what's your favorite Eminem album? And he said, the Marshall Mathers LP 2. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna rank that one next. So thank you, Ken, for the suggestion. And let me know which album I should rank next. So again, letting you know we are going to disagree. This is my personal opinion, and please don't be mad at me. Just make sure you leave your ranking of however many you want to include in the comment section. So let's start things off. All 20 tracks. My least favorite track on this album at the moment, and I should let you guys know, this album mostly has a lot of good to great songs. I don't think, in my opinion, there's any awesome, excellent songs, but I think there's a lot of good to awesome. I kind of ranked them in 5 different categories, like bad, not good, okay, great, awesome, or excellent. But I think this album has a lot of okay to good, and then a few almost, excellent songs. But I don't know. You might have a different opinion than I do. But let's start things off. My number 20, unfortunately, has to be Stronger Than I Was. I think you know why I don't like this song. I think it's good, but I just don't like when Eminem sings. It just doesn't sound right. It's weird, and unfortunately, that's why I put that at number 20. That is my least favorite track on this album, and at any given day, I could change my opinion on some of these too, by the way. Number 19, listening to this, I was a little surprised that this was my second least favorite track on this album, but, it's I guess, it's random. It's what my opinion is, but at the moment, Love Game is my number 19. My number 18 is one of the bonus tracks on this, and I wanted to like it, but I just didn't, and that would be Groundhog Day. Number 17 is also one of the bonus tracks. It had a country or rock guy on it, and it sounded okay. Again, I don't hate any song on this album. Probably the only song I should rephrase that. The only song I really hate is Stronger Than I Was. And even that has some good, powerful words. I just don't want to hear Eminem sing. It's not what I want to hear, like Jessica Simpson sing. I don't want to hear Marshall Mathers sing. But Desperation, it was good for what it was, but just there's other songs that I like a lot better on that. So that's why that came in at my number 17. And I'll let you guys know when there's songs I really am starting to like come up. My number 16 is going to be So Much Better. I initially was going to put this pretty low, like number 19, but then I listened to it again. Like some of these tracks in the last week, I've listened to like 3 or 4 times just to kind of formulate this list. But at the moment, So Much Better is my number 16. My number 15 is going to be So Far. Again, it's good. It's just not one of my favorites. There has to be songs that work their way up to the favorites level. So that's why some of these that you may have higher ranked are low on my list. And I didn't listen to any other Marshall Mathers LP2 ranking videos, so I have no idea where anybody else is on this. But I just know that people are going to disagree with me. My number 14 is a song that I was thinking that I would have at the bottom, or very close to the bottom. And I was surprised that you know what? I like it. It's different, but it's kind of catchy at times. It's not one of my favorites, but that would be Rhyme or Reason. Good. I think this album just has a different song because Rick Rubin had his footprint all over a lot of stuff, and it was different, and it's something I'm not used to, but that's why Rhyme or Reason is my number 14. Now, the rest of the songs on this album are decent tracks, and even Rhyme or Reason's a decent track too, but all these other ones I put in the, let me check my list here, I put these in the okay to awesome / excellent part of my ranking. So my number 13 is going to be Evil Twin. I'm not going to go into explanation. Something has to come in 13th place. There's other songs that I like in addition to that. My number 12, this is an interesting one. This song probably would have been 3 to 5 spots higher. I just don't like the hook. It's one of the bonus tracks. It's Baby. If the hook was different, I might like this track a lot more, but I like it other than the hook. My number 11 is the single that came out to let us know that the Marshall Mathers LP2 was coming out. And initially, I did not like this track. Again, it's by, Rick Rubin has his footprint all over this album, and it has a different sound to it. But upon listening to it 3 or 4 times in the last week or so, I put it kind of in the middle here. It's Berserk. It's okay. It's good. It's just not one of my favorites. There's other songs that I like that Eminem does, and that one is not one of my top ones. But I get it. It was catchy at times. It had the more rock feel to it to a degree, and that's why I put Berserk as my number 11. My number 10 is going to be Brainless. I think this song really was good. Just it was missing something, I guess I can say. My number 9 was surprisingly a song that was a bonus song, and that was just, some of the songs lasted so long on the first disc that he had to just make, a bonus disc, which I think you just should put, side A and side B or something like that, but I'm going to put Wicked Ways as my number 9. Again, the song was really good. At a point, though, it just kind of lost me. Like, it kind of ended and went into a skit, but for like 5 or 4.5 minutes, it was a decent song, and that's why that's my number 9. Now, the rest of these are songs that I would say are good, very good. The other ones that I just mentioned from Evil Twin were okay, at least. My number 8 is Beautiful Pain. I really like this song. I really get into this song. I think it's a really good song, and I'm surprised I don't hear it a lot more. So Beautiful Pain is my number 8. My number 7 is a song that I really like on the album, and I was thinking it was going to be higher, but lo and behold, upon listening to it at this point, it's only my number 7, and that would be Bad Guy. I do like Bad Guy. I'm going to take a look at the album for a second here. It's kind of like the sequel to Stan, and I really like it, but a lot of it's more talking, and it doesn't pick up until later, which is fine, but that takes a little bit away from it. But I do really like Bad Guy, and I'm kind of surprised that it's my number 7. Okay, here's where I think most of you are going to probably turn this video off. My number 6, while it's a great song, and there's a lot of epic moments on it, I'm starting not to be able to talk right because my lips are getting really dry. It happens. Rap God is going to be my number 7, or my number 6. I wanted to put it higher, but the other songs I just liked a little bit more, just a teeny bit more. And the rest of these, from this track to the number 1, could be interchangeable. I like these top 6 a lot. I had a tough time narrowing down from number 6 to number 1, but I put Rap God as my number 6 because I don't really listen to that much. And I think, other than the part where Eminem goes really fast, that was like the highlight of the album, and the rest of it, or the highlight of the track, I should say. And honestly, I don't know. I just like the other ones better. What can I say? So that's why I put Rap God as my number 6. My number 5 is going to be the Skylar Grey song on Music to Be Murdered By, not Music to Be Murdered By, the Marshall Mathers LP2, and that would be Asshole. I like it. I thought it was going to be higher, but upon listening to each of these tracks 3 or 4 times in the past weekish, I decided to put Asshole as my number 5. And I had this as my text tone for, probably 6 to 8 months after this album came out, so I did really like it. It just, the other songs were more powerful in re-listening to them. So Asshole is my number 5. Number 4, really good song. Again, a lot of these are tough. This was tough to rank based on what I liked on this album. My number 4 is going to be Legacy. I really like the hook on this song. I like Eminem on this song. I just like the other songs better, so that's why Legacy is my number 4. My number 3, I didn't think I was going to put this high. Initially, I thought this would be closer to top 10, but it's probably everybody's favorite, or second or third. I like it. It's just not my favorite, and that would be like the motivational song on the album, Survival. Really good track, motivating track. Just like a couple more, a little bit better, but I decided that it was almost one of my favorites instead of like number 6 or number 7. So Survival, number 3. Number 2, I thought was going to be my number 1. This was probably my favorite track listening to this album, but it's not like a big bass or anything. It's just Eminem telling a story. It's Headlights. It's him apologizing for stuff that he said to his mom. It's a very deep song. Maybe not, some of the parts aren't necessarily the greatest in terms of like not a catchy part, but it's super deep, and I really liked Headlights. It's more sad, but I just really liked it. I really liked it. When I first heard this album, that was like the song that I listened to the most, surprisingly enough. So that's why I put Headlights as my number 2. Now, my number 1, you already know what it is. This was not my favorite track listening to this album initially. Over the years, it's gotten more catchier and more catchier and more catchier, and that would be, of course, Monster with Rihanna. I'm surprised because it wasn't something that I listened to a lot. Even on Recovery, Love the Way You Lie, I really stayed away from that album. Let me rephrase that. I really stayed away from that track. And I'm not sure why, because it was just overplayed. But Monster I've always liked, but never knew that it was my favorite track on the Marshall Mathers LP2. But it is now, at the moment, upon re-listening to this album 3 or 4 times in the past weekish. I had to put it as my number 1. These top 5, well, maybe top 6. Top 6, I would say, are kind of interchangeable. And I hate to do that because I want to have a consistent, this is definitely my number 1. This is definitely my number 2. Like on Eminem's show, Clean Out My Closet is far and away my number 1. On this, it's very, very close. So that is my ranking. I know we disagreed. It's going to happen, but let's just go over things one more time. Stronger Than I Was, Love Game, Groundhog Day, Desperation, So Much Better, So Far, Rhyme or Reason, Evil Twin, Baby, Berserk, Brainless, Wicked Ways, Beautiful Pain, Bad Guy, Rap God, Asshole, Legacy, Survival, Headlights, and Monster. So, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments section. And if you want to bash me for making a ridiculous list, well, I mean, you want to do that? That's fine. Please leave your list in the comment section just so I know where you're coming from on things. I think Love Game is going to be a lot higher because of Kendrick Lamar. I just didn't like it when I heard it. I don't know. It's my opinion. So, yeah, make sure you leave your list in the comments section. If you're an Eminem fan and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, smash that like button. Share the video with anybody that you know that's an Eminem fan, or put it on your social media platform. And last but certainly, well, leave lots of comments. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, you're watching the video anyway, so don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what I should do next Friday. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.